Good morning, everybody. I wanted to tune in and just do a quick apology for not being able to complete my blog last night as promised in reference to the mine. I actually did have to work, and then I had a small family emergency myself where I had to go out and help a family member. By the time I got home, it was really late, and I had to take care of my daughters and actually take care of myself and put myself to bed to prepare myself for another long day of work. But I did want to tune back in with you and apologize for that. But that is life. A lot of times things unexpectedly happen, but the point is just to remain faithful and come back and follow up with whatever promises or whatever it is that you had desired to do in the first place. So I am tuning in to remind you that today we are going to be talking about the mind, which is very, very, very important. Probably one of the most important aspects of this blog and getting us towards mental clarity and freedom. My purpose or my point is to just kind of start us off in baby steps and start us off with the foundation of what things we need to start working on and changing on this journey first. So basically it's going to be a journey where we start at the foundation and just build ourselves up more and more with greater sources of information and greater tools just to make ourselves more adapt and more able to deal with life in a more mental clear situation. So just as babies, we start with baby food and we work our way up to more advanced foods to digest. So since I really haven't gotten to the mind yet, then I did want to just say a little bit more about the brain, which is what we've been focusing on for the last 2 days. I thought I was just going to be able to tackle that in one blog, but just more and more information pours into me. So I just wanted to share with you our brain and what we feed our brain. So yesterday we talked about what we tell our brain and how our brain responds to that with the neurons, and how the neurons communicates with the brain, and how the brain directly affects the body's physiological processes. Also, it's very important as to what you feed your brain physically, and also what you feed your brain spiritually. For instance, when you get up this morning, it is imperative. Like, I have a very bad habit of not going to get food before work, and then I get to work and I'm extremely exhausted, which is not good. Our brain, it needs natural food. It needs natural, healthy, energizing foods in the morning to rejuvenate itself and to get it prepared for the day. And so a good majority of us, especially people that work in the healthcare field that have to be at work at the crack of dawn, we tend to just get up, we tend to grab a cup of coffee and just go straight to work. The coffee is just like a temporary fix. It is a small amount of caffeine, but it does not endure you and it does not sustain you throughout the day. And breakfast, as they say, is one of the most important meals of the day. So what you choose to feed your your brain in the morning is very, very important. Again, I'm not talking about caffeine. I'm not talking about a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit or a ham biscuit, which is high in sodium. I'm talking about high energy foods, which are your green foods, which are your fruits and your vegetables, even if it's like a smoothie drink that's not very high in sugar, but just something that will sustain you throughout the day. Also, what we feed our brain spiritually in the morning is very, very important as well. A lot of times the first thing we'll do in the mornings, we'll get up and we'll tap on Facebook, and it's no telling what we're going to see on Facebook, whether that's something positive or whether it's something negative. Or I used to have a habit of tuning into WRAL. And we all realize that the homepage of WRAL is not positive at all. It usually talks first about a murder or some child that is missing or some devastating hurricane that is tearing through the states, and that is negative. That is actually a negative input that we are putting into our brain, and that is how we jumpstart our brain, which is not very good at all. So again, like we talked about yesterday, the first thing that we want to start our brain off with is not a lack of energy with no food, and also negative information by looking at sources that do not provide us with positive feedback. So I encourage you this morning to get up just a tiny bit earlier. Obviously you're already up, but make some time to stop and get something healthy to feed your brain. And then also, I mean, as you're riding to work, don't listen to some radio station that's not positive, or don't listen to the news. I encourage you just to even if you just have to put on classical music, which is soothing, if you don't have anything to directly listen to, something that I suggest is I have an app that has positive affirmations that I listen to as I'm driving to work, or that I listen to and I'm feeling a little discouraged. There's also for people that like to listen to TD Jakes, there's a TD Jakes apps where he uploads 2 to 3 minute motivational speeches that are perfect for just driving to work. And again, that is positive information that we're feeding into our mind. We are changing the neuroplasticity of our brain. I want to make sure I keep those two entities separate. That is positive information that we are encoding into our brain. And so then our brain starts outputting positive vibes. And you would be surprised how just that alone can decrease your blood pressure, which helps you throughout the day, how it can decrease that stress, that tense feeling that you feel in your body, again, just by providing positive information to your brain. So this morning, I encourage you again, go ahead and start with some positive physical input into your brain, which is food, and also some type of spiritual input into your brain that is positive. And I would love to hear some feedback from anybody to let me know if that worked for you, if you felt different walking into work this morning, or if you felt different throughout the day just by taking those tidbits of information and changing the way that you started your day. So again, thank you for tuning in with me. I will be following up with you later this afternoon again in reference to the mime. I'm sorry about the early morning post, and I'm sure the visual quality of the video isn't all that great, but I have to do them right prior before walking into work. But this is my happy place, and this is my positive feedback from my brain every morning. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I told you something that will be helpful for you. And again, I thank you for sharing with me one day at a time.